Good evening. Tonight's presentation is being recorded by Area 58.
Just take it out of there. Talk right next to the hot mess.
I'm Shirley Graff, a member of the Halifax Beautification Committee. Other members of the committee here tonight are Jeremy Gillespie and Tina Palmer. Before we get started with tonight's presentation, I just want to mention a few upcoming Halifax Beautification Committee events. On March 23rd, we're going to walk at Camp Usamaquin. That's the old Y camp off of Lingham Street. We'll meet at the First Avenue Beach. At Town Beach, and then drive to the end of the street. That's at 10 o'clock. And then in April, we have a 2-week litter cleanup from April 13th to the 28th. And then on May 18th from 10 to 2, we'll hold a Earth Fest for pony rides and environmental displays, goats to pat, a plant sale, and games to play. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. So OOLOG is an acronym for Old Ladies Against Underwater Garbage. The members have been active cleaning up ponds, Cape Cod ponds, since 2000, I read 17, but 18, it might be 18, I don't know. And several weeks ago, OOLOG posted on Facebook that they were looking for opportunities to talk about their work. The only payment they requested would be coffee and cookies. Members of the Halifax Beautification have donated both refreshments for attendees to the presentation, which is at the back, and also these gift bags for you to take home.
Oh, thank you.
And there's extra ones for a few other members.
Got a whole bunch.
And they include coffee and cookies.
Oh.
And a mirror that was donated by Wendy Greco, another member of the committee, and the mirrors say, "She believes she could, so she did."
Oh, nice. Very nice. Thank you.
And in addition, there's 2 books that we're donating to you. One is Remarkably Bright Creatures, and the other one is The Soul of the Octopus. Not a freshwater pond, but still creature. Talk about creatures.
Yeah.
So I'd like to introduce you to Paula Weissman and Susan
Bauer.
Yep. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You're welcome. I think they're done.
We got it. We got it. We just don't want the background noise getting into the video.
And the lights, you can turn on a few lights. I think that we have to either yes or no. I think there's this.
Will that work?
It works for us.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, where's the clicker go? This glass, that glass.
On. And the right one goes out to the next.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So.
Can you put that poster down just a little?
You might, guys.
That poster?
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think it's not gonna video if you don't.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I think we need the light on.
Oh, we need the light on?
Unfortunately, the town didn't sparge for the night vision.
Okay.
That's a joke, I don't think they have.
Great, well, you can see them.
I'm gonna pull this out so you can be a little better.
I'm fine. I'm good. So that okay? Everybody can hear? I bet they can. So thank you very much for inviting us. We want to spread the word, and your fearless leader already knows about how important it is to clean up garbage from ponds.
but most people don't. In fact, what we usually hear is, "You want to clean up our pond?" And we say, "Yeah." They said, "We don't have any trash in our pond. It's an empty bowl of water with a sandy bottom." We say, "Oh, I don't think so." And so off we go. I want to tell you first the sort of the backstory of how I became interested in this rather odd thing, because there aren't a whole lot of clubs where you have to wait till you're 64, 65 to join, and that if you're 80-something, as I am, that's just fine. You can still join. You've got to be a good swimmer. So the way it started was that I became really fascinated by turtles, and especially painted turtles and musk turtles. That's a stink pot or musk turtle. And I know about a dozen by name, and they know me, and they sit on my hand, and every once in a while they will try and bask on my head. So, yeah, no, don't do that. They also try and take a nibble, you know. They really hope that I've like turned into a big piece of meatloaf over the winter, and they can, you know, something. So I became so interested in them and in finding new turtle populations. I would swim in a lot of different ponds and kept seeing garbage. So I thought, we've got to do something about that. And so there's the original. That's Paul and myself and Julia at the end. And this tiny, tiny piece of garbage compared to what, can you see okay over this poster?
This was a big deal for us, our first
That was, yeah.
It was just like, wow, look at all we found.
Yeah, 3 cans, and I think you got 17 golf balls or something like that.
My swimsuit was like,
So it's pretty straightforward. We don't wear fins. We don't use scuba gear. We just use a mask and snorkel and go down and pick it up. But once we got more swimmers, and we were really at 7 swimmers for a long time until last year. We have tryouts every spring. Anybody interested, willing to drive to the Cape, we can do it. And we're expanding. We're going out to Plymouth and different places. So we began getting bigger stuff: Adirondack chairs, tires, tables, fishing poles, tires, more tires. More tires. The reason that there are so many tires in ponds is that on the Cape anyway, it costs you $1 to take them. It costs you $8 to take them to the landfill. But if you roll them off your dock, it doesn't cost anything. So that's where we find them. So, Paula, you've...
some shoes, of course. We really find all kinds of stuff. As you can see, lots of kiddo toys, lots of lures. We find lots of old lures that people probably lost. You know, they either dropped it off or dropped it over the boat. Or
sometimes broken stuff.
Somebody lost their fluffernutter, marshmallow fluff. The mysterious man. Yeah.
We can't hear you if you don't use the mic.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we'll pass it back and forth. Yeah.
So as you can see, we have the mysterious man who has lots of golf balls. We find a lot of golf balls. People probably practice shooting off their dock or off their lawn and stuff, but they don't break down to be a good thing. There's stuff in those that's not good at all. And there we are. Which is this?
That's Long Pond in Harwich.
Yeah, that was a good sized dive.
So before every dive, I print off a map of the pond. So that's Long Pond, and half of it is Harwich, and half of it is Brewster. And then it's my job to make sure that there's parking, to make sure that everyone gets there. And then we have one kayak, which we don't provide. We try and team up with pond associations so that they have a buy-in and are interested in keeping their pond clean. So they provide the kayaks, we provide the swimmers, and every kayak then has 2 swimmers, and they would go off, some of them, all the way to that point. They'll swim a mile before they turn around and start coming back for garbage. Other ones would just go very close close by.
So, of course, we organize things pretty as best we can. Obviously, having a list of the divers, and then you saw the list of the kayakers at the bottom of the last page. Again, this is another dive. Lots of garbage, tires. This is us, Old Ladies Against Underwater Garbage, with some community partners. We have a lot of people that are very interested in what we're doing. What is that?
We work for cookies.
Oh, we work for cookies. That's right. Yeah, and we do. You know, every dive we've done, somebody brings us cookies and coffee, and because you come out of the water, you're cold. 90 minutes is a long time to be in the water. Yeah, no charge, just cookies. And there's someone flipping over. And this is Diane. She's very meticulous in keeping watch over all of us. I mean, we have real serious standards, I should say, in what we do before we take off to do a dive. You know, there's only 2 or 3 swimmers with each kayaker, and we train everybody to make sure you have to be eyeball to eyeball with your swimmer, your partner, okay? You can't go off running to where you want to go. You have to stay close by because we want everybody to stay safe. And if you're going down to grab something, you want to be somewhat near your kayaker so you come up with the item that you found, and the kayaker comes over to us and picks it up. Or sometimes we need extra hands to do that. So there we are. I mean, that's shallow, obviously, because Susan is standing up, or somebody's standing up with, look at the wood. I mean, with the nails sticking out. I mean, if anybody walked on that, that would really be bad. And there's some more of the treasure.
This was in the rain.
Yeah, we swim in pretty much all kinds of weather. You know, it's anywhere from June to October, depending on the season, obviously. But you know, as long as it's not really thundering and lightning, we'll go in the water. And there's some more of the treasure, all kinds of bottles, toys. We just find it all.
And each one represents a dive.
Yeah. So each item represents a dive, because we have to have one hand for ourselves and one hand for the item that we're pulling up. And there you go.
More.
Lots of beer cans and golf balls.
Sometimes when we get more than one tire, or as you can see from that kayak, it is completely loaded, and you might be a mile away from the beach. And one time we got a futon. Oh my gosh, it was heavy. It was totally waterlogged futon. And we tried to put it on the back of the kayak, and the kayak began to sink. And so they said, oh, no, take it off. So then a kayak like that would have to go back to the beach, and we always try and have an extra one who would come on quickly, because if you're diving and picking up whatever, cans or bottles and garbage, you don't want to just sit there or tread water waiting for some kayak to come. So we all wear small belts that have 2 pockets in them. And if push comes to shove, we can put golf tees and golf balls and tennis balls and a couple of dog toys in each one.
So, and also something that's interesting that we learned along the way is when you pull something big like a tire out, you can't just pull that out. One of the things we also train people in doing is we don't want to disturb the bed of the water. We don't want to churn up a lot of the life of the pond. So it'll take 2 or 3 of us, and you literally have to push down and then pull up, because there's a vacuum that happens with that heavy an item. So we have to be really careful how we pull things up again to save the environment of the pond. Ice.
We'll get to this in a bit, but every one of us has our little quirks. And Mary's quirk is that, because what we're doing really is an adventure. It's ask your fearless leader. You never know when you're going to see a snapping turtle. You never know when you're going to see something that you don't even recognize. Our first dive, I saw this huge plank with a hole in it. It was an 18-foot boat that had been stove in, and things were living in it. And so we never know what we're going to find. But each swimmer, one will be attracted to the bass, and we have one swimmer who she'll just lie absolutely still, and 2 or 3 6-pound bass will just swim right up to her. I'm the turtle lady, so I get the turtles, but Mary's got the ice, and she has this thing that she needs to keep swimming or dipping at least all year round, and that's not my thing, I'll tell you.
She's very brave.
Okay, this is going to...
She is in charge. Dr. Susan Bauer, retired psychologist.
Need it louder?
And avid pond swimmer. She's been swimming since her 50s, fascinated with turtles.
I'm known as the turtle lady of Cape Cod. I write books on turtles. Turtles love me. I love turtles.
What she doesn't love is other things she sees in ponds.
A lot of golf balls and beer cans. So about 5 years ago, I just grabbed 2 swimmers and a kayaker and said, come on, let's just clean up the pond.
From the start, Robin Malavalin and Diane Hammer were on board.
I feel like I'm involved in this for the animals and for the community, but I also want to support Susan in her project. She's such an incredible person.
The project was named after the first outing.
I said, well, we're a bunch of old ladies against underwater garbage. And it just stuck because that shows the kind of sense of humor we've got.
There is no joking, however, about the age requirement to suit up. 64 or older.
If a 60-year-old wanted to join, allowed or not?
No,
No.
no.
Susan is 82.
You're a kayaker. You get over there and hear the talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
The women operate the teams, swimmers and kayakers. Diane leads the paddlers who carry the haul. For the swimmers in the water for generally 90 minutes, it's strenuous.
The hooks and some broken glass sometimes and heavy things, it can be a little bit risky, but we wear gloves, we're very into safety.
When you start looking underneath the water, there's a lot of stuff down there.
That's why these women are in demand.
So Leans wants us. We do Booster tomorrow. We've done Dennis Mussey's Mills.
We have a big pink bucket, as you can see, lots of cans, big hunks of metal. Cheers to these women.
We've got one of the cleanest ponds on the Cape, and yet look at that they can haul us out in an hour's time.
The board members will come up to us and they'll say, this is such hard work. Oh, that's so disgusting. What we're thinking inside is, what the hell of an adventure this was.
It's not something that I knew when I retired I was going to become a pond garbage collector. That wasn't like on my list of things to do, really, ever. Just ever, never. It's a real testament to being open to what life shows you.
Susan and company say doing this comes with so many sweet rewards.
I just love it, love it, love it. Yeah. I'm 12 years old again.
Well, we also thank them for the work they're doing. I mean, that's incredible. But you think that the ponds are...
We got that. This is just a homemade video of someone trying to get a bottle off the bottom. It needs editing, but there's the bottle.
It's kind of like how we see what we see when we're out of the water.
Yeah, also, if you do take something large out of the water, the instant you touch it, it creates a cloud of mud, and then you can't see anything. But there goes Julia, and she's going to get the bottle. But you can see how long it takes, on average, to get, although I'm really fast with beer cans, it takes quite a while to locate it, take a couple of deep breaths, go down, get it, bring it back up, flag your kayak, hopefully it's nearby, and hand it off. So when you see those piles of garbage, you know that that's... So, whoops. Every year we hold tryouts in June, and we went from 7 to 22 people, which was quite a shock. We'll have tryouts again this year, and we have them swim a half mile, and they have to swim that in under 30 minutes. And we put down some golf balls at 6 feet, 7 feet, and they have to be able to get that without any trouble. And then you make a commitment that it's not just one quick dive. You make as many as you can, 3 or 4, plus you do some of these presentations and go to some meetings. So we have cleaned ponds from the Wellfleet area, the National Seashore, all the way down to a lot in Falmouth and East Falmouth. And then we will be going into Plymouth this year, and there's a 6 ponds association, and they say they would like us for all 6 ponds. We're thinking maybe 2 this year and save some for later. It's just a list of some of the ponds that we cleaned last year.
So before we do any pond, we scout a pond. Okay, so two or maybe 3 of us will go out. We never go out alone. But what that entails is you go out into a pond and you have to you swim a ways to see if there's garbage that can be cleaned up, and also what kind of weeds are underneath the water. There are weeds that if you come out with some of these weeds on your clothes, it spreads it. So we don't want to do that. So we have to know what the flora is underneath the water, and we don't want to make trouble in the environment. So scouting is a serious business. It doesn't take long, but those are some of the other commitments we expect people to help us out with.
That's just put in because it was pouring rain. Oh my God, it was raining. Table, shoes. That was dropped back down there, but that's an old soccer ball. And when we first saw it, it was covered except for about 3 inches, and it had those seams that skulls have. And for a minute, we thought, oh my God, we've finally found. Now, the next Halloween, I'm going to have to buy one of those hands. I've got to do that. And you'll hear the scream probably all the way here when I do. That's what the tire looks like from, 8 feet above it. And then you think, oh, okay, how many women do I need to get that one? And the kayaks come in just absolutely loaded. We really, this is Marcy and her daughter, we have had many requests that why don't we let women in their 40s or 50s? Why don't we let men in? And we found that there's more of a sense of camaraderie if we just keep it to the older women, and that above 65 is the age of gratitude. If you've made it that long and your life is okay and you've got 2 arms and 2 legs and you can see and hear and you've got your teeth, the world, it just seems so precious. It just seems like a place that you want to help the songbirds and help the turtles and help anything you can. And that's an attitude which you just don't have. You're too busy to have at 40s and 50s. And so that's why we keep it. But we have groups of women who will come up with a bag of cookies. We've never seen them before. I've heard of you. I read about you in the paper, and here's some cookies. And we have groups that will then email, I'm 64, I made it, it was last week, I'm 64. And you think, oh, all right. And this year, in our tryouts, we will have people from Boston and from Worcester. And we said, you've got a commitment, you've got to do 6 things. And they said, we can do that. This is the group we want to join. And that brings us to our mission, which I will read, because I certainly am not, it's a little bubbly, I haven't memorized this one. We swim to remove trash from ponds, channeling the strength of older women, and challenging others to see beyond perceived limits to take concrete action to preserve the environment. A touch bubbly, but we are environmentalists, and one of the reasons that we do what we do is to help the environment. But there are other reasons. We discovered very early on that we were getting far more press than any trash collection warranted. We have been on the Weather Channel. We have got AARP with 100 million contacts or circulation. We are in Reader's Digest. It will come out this summer. And we brainstormed and we got around a table and we said, why are we so popular? Trust me, I've never been popular in my life. I am too short. I am too outspoken. I was turned down as a cheerleader. I mean, this is new. At 84, I am popular. Holy mackerel. And we realized that, yeah, to clean ponds is one thing, but to raise awareness of what needs to happen is another. To inspire older women, to open a new chapter in their life is another. Adventure is another. But the one that I like the best is that when we come back at the end of a dive, we come out of the water, we are tired, we are exhausted, we are excited, we are relieved. And we say, did you see that? Did you see that? Who found the owl head? Oh my God, what is that thing? I don't know what it is. Somebody in this audience looked in our bag of trash and said, oh, that's a vape. We didn't know what it was. It was like this, is that a little battery? No. And then some younger person said, yeah, it's a vape. Blueberry? When we come out of the water and the onlookers see us, they want to know what we're smoking. They want to know where we got this excitement and where we got this joy at our age, doing what we're doing, pulling slimy stuff out of the pond. And I think that the really great job that we do is passing on that joy and having people say, if they're that excited, we're going to keep this pond clean forever. And we get emails with photographs. We have taken 3 golf balls out of Jenkins Pond. And I always write back and I say, thank you very much. That's terrific. But we generate excitement and we pass it on. Goals for the future?
Goals for the future. Do you have them in front of you? No. Okay. So I just want to touch on the joy piece as well. As, you know, we're doing something bigger than ourselves, and we realize that, and it really is. It is invigorating, and we really feel joyful, even though we are tired, we're cold, and we need that coffee pretty quick. It really is invigorating to be helping out something much bigger than ourselves. So our mission, you know, our goals. Number one, we do want to expand to, you know, a little bit further out. We have to grow teams. Obviously, we need people that are willing to do the work, even though it's to us it's not work. But you know, we do want to expand, and we're working on, you know. We're not 501c3 yet. We hope to do that eventually down the road. But, you know,
she's telling you we have no money.
We don't have any money. So we do, you know, that's why we have the display. We're always looking for a little help in various areas, whether it's getting us snorkel gear or, you know, more kayaks or, you know, things that'll help us do our jobs. You know, we're always looking for a little bit of help.
We also have sort of a wish list, which is we are looking for somebody somewhere is going to own a printing company and say, we will help you with this crazy cookie cookbook. So we're starting a cookie cookbook, and if somebody knows of a printer, ask. And
you shall receive.
Right. I want to talk to you after class. Great. The other goal we have is that we've decided we want to trademark our name. And we actually have a member who has a lawyer for a daughter, and she said, I will set it up, but you need $750. And so somewhere along the line, I can tell you about this. The Red Cross names 9 heroes every year. It's a thing they do. I think it's a fundraiser, but they like these 9 heroes. It's a firefighter, firefighter hero, there's a blood giver hero, there's a whole different bunch, police hero. And so this year they said, let's make 10, and let's do a climate hero. You're looking at them. So, we were really amazed. And so on April 4th, we will go up, actually just 2 of us will go up, and we'll sit at a big table, and it costs $20,000 to sit with us. So that's when I'm going to come up with the wish list. Because if you can pay $20,000 to sit at my table, you can help us get trademarked. It's a new thing. So anyway, there's one more. We're up for questions. That's our resident snapping turtle. Oh my goodness, she is very large. So thank you, and are there any questions?
Yeah, I was like, you don't use canoes? Would you find canoes be better?
Occasionally, especially when we have somebody from the press, we will have a canoe, and you will see that it's hard to tell, but there's a canoe in that picture, and that was originally, of course, a tire, and now we've turned it into a cookie so that we can. Yes. What is the coolest thing we have found?
Great question.
For me, the coolest things are the snapping turtles. I mean, that's what I really like. And they're alive and they're really there. But we have found a garden gnome. We have found part of a lawnmower. We have found a big concrete thing with 8 arms and loops on it. I have no idea what it is, but if you find anything in that box of trash that you want to take home, you're welcome to do it. So there are little toys, there are little cars.
Need a little scrub, Mom.
Yeah. Yes.
Have you found anything monetarily that's worth anything?
Probably, but we're so non-money. So that when we went to Mashpee Wakeby, we found a cache, a bunch of old bottles that were so old that we realized that they had been dropped by ice fishermen probably 125 years ago. And someone said, oh, you don't throw these away. And so we gave them to a man who said he'd give them to the Historical Society. So I'm from Falmouth. I used to live in Chatham, and Paula's from Chatham. So our members come from as far north as Truro and as far this way as Plymouth. But next year we will have Worcester and Boston. Yeah, that's crazy.
I live right there on the Monfonset Pond, and I would never swim in that pond. No.
Because of the trash or the turtles?
Turtles, snakes.
Is there a lot of weeds in it? Is it weedy?
In some areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do a pond that's totally weedy.
Yeah, we can't do ponds that are weedy. Yeah. And again, depending on the flora, we don't want to be disturbing it or creating more problems with it.
But most of the ponds down in the Cape are more swimmable.
Half?
Yeah.
Half.
Don't we do that half? The good half.
Again, we scout first, and then we determine whether we can do it or not.
Like lovers?
Lovers like, we did. There were like 8 of us that day, weren't there? There's 6 of us.
We couldn't see a thing.
We couldn't see a thing. I mean, we went right into it at first, and we were like, and then people went out a bit, and it was like, you can't. It was just everywhere.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you for having us.